don't elect a speaker who is a lawyer. It's too vengeful, it's too dictatorial, and is unforgiving, if I must say.
This is beyond facts.
And Mheshimiwa, there have been tensions or rather political differences in the county assembly, even to the extent of some MCs plotting to impeach the speaker, Kelvin Kinengo. What has been the problem? And what is as the that move affected the relationship between you and the speaker?
Thank you, Mariani,
Marilyn.
Marilyn. Yes, we've been having issues with some issues in the county assembly of Kitui, and let me say, in an assembly of 60 members, and out of the 60 elected, 60 MCAs, 40 of them are elected. You cannot fail to find some differences because these are politicians, and every politician has his or her own interest, and the wards, the wards within Kitui County have their own dynamics. So you find there's always going to be some issues. Yes, let me admit there are issues in the county assembly of Kitui, and these are issues that can be addressed. When we were elected and sworn in 2022 around September, we began with a speaker, and the House Assembly went on very well, at least for I think a year before issues started coming up. The main challenge, which has really been affecting the people of Kitui through the County Assembly of Kitui, I can say without fear or contradiction, is anti-functional leadership. We have a leadership that is not up to the standard, a leadership that does not care about the interests of the MCAs and the interests of the wards they represent. And many times we've tried to talk them out, we've tried to find solutions, but they have not. We've not managed to get solutions. And one of the major problems, or the root cause of these problems, started way back in 2023 when Wiper Party decided to change the leadership. Uh, when the leadership of the Wiper Party was changed, um, the, the person who is supposed to recognize these new changes is the speaker. And you find the county assembly of Kitui, we have a speaker who does not want to do his work, who does not want to be impartial. He wants to be he wants to take sides. And one example is that when the changes were done, he refused to recognize the two the changes of the majority party. This was something which was done through elections, and the only thing he was supposed to do was to recognize them. So that one, he refused to recognize the new leadership, and that took some time. The new leadership had to go to court. And you know, in any situation whereby you find people going to court, that only works to escalate the problem. Because courts are supposed to be the last thing one is required to do. There was no, we didn't have a leadership that wanted to bring harmony to the assembly. The other issue that has really affected our county assembly of Kitui is you find a speaker who does not recognize the elected leaders in terms of debates. Many times we've found a speaker putting off microphones, deny the MCAs time to air their views, deny them airtime to debate. And if you deny somebody, an elected member of county assembly, time to defend his people or to air his views, you are literally deny that word, their representatives, because we are elected to represent our wards. If I have no space to talk about what is happening in Yata Kwavonsa, if I'm not given that space, then I will not agree to have a situation like that. I will always refuse. That is why you have found the house as per now is divided. There are those who claim to be defending the speaker. I don't know for what. And there are those who say because we are defending the speaker, the other side is working against him, which is not the case. Our role and our mandate as elected MCAs is to oversight, represent, and do legislation. And once that is not done, or once that is not recognized by the leadership that is there, then you'll find the MCAs will always resist. So yes, there's a problem, and the problem is with the leadership.
So, Mheshimiwa, how is this relationship affecting your work as an MCR? Back to Yata Kwaponza ward.
The issues or the challenges we are facing at the county assembly have not affected any service delivery to the people because, for one, the county assembly of Kitui, which is made of elected MCAs and nominated MCAs, their mandate, as I've said, is to represent the people, oversight, and do legislation. And nothing of the three roles has been affected by the challenges, because we have always been the first assembly in Kitui to pass budgets. Our budget is always passed even before the deadline of 30th June in every financial year. All the bills that have come to the county assembly have always been passed. And also, in terms of representation, we we have not been affected because whatever is happening within the county assembly is something I can say is somehow administrative, which does not really affect our service delivery. Yes. And my relationship with the speaker is Concho, is my friend. We only differ in ideology and in his style of leadership, because as a speaker is the head of the county assembly, and that has to continue as that. So him being the speaker is also my friend, but on the way he runs things has always been my issue, because you cannot run an assembly in a dictatorial way. You cannot run elected members in a dictatorial way. You cannot run MCAs in a vengeful manner. We always make mistakes, and anytime one makes a mistake, he has a room for apology. So him as the leader of the county assembly, all the MCAs are his employees. And if he finds any issue with an MCA, he has a duty to call that MCA. They talk it out and they agree to move forward without having that feeling of I need to revenge on whatever you've done for me. So I think it's a small issue that
So, Mheshimiwa, comparing the current speaker with the previous one, how do you rate them?
If you rate the two, I don't know how to rate them because the previous one was Dotto. I did not have. I was not a member of the county assembly, but through the talk and through members who were there in that time, I think there's a big difference. One of the biggest differences is that Dotto was making decisions in a sober way. Yeah, there's you compare the two speakers. Daughter, there's a little bit of maturity, but the current one is too vengeful, is too dictatorial, and is unforgiving, if I must say. But everybody has his own style of leadership, and everybody went to different school. So I think that is what was taught in that is what was taught in school, to be strong and abrasive. Yeah, we cannot question his leadership. Anyone does anything that he feels will make him happy. If that makes him happy, yeah, we will continue like that. Yeah.
So,
But one thing I want to say on this is this for the people of Kitui. Any member of county assembly who is going to be lucky and privileged
Yes.
to come to the county assembly of Kitui, I advise you, don't elect a speaker who is a lawyer. Two, don't elect somebody from outside. Look for an MCA who has been in the house and elect that MCA. That MCA will serve you better because he knows your work, and he knows how MCAs are supposed to be done.
So, Mheshimiwa, are you championing for the impeachment of the current speaker?
Um, there are two ways of dealing with a rogue speaker, if I may say. You talk, you mediate, and agree on that some of the issues you have. We have tried to talk to him. We have tried to call things we call kamkunji so that we can reason together. That has never been the case. So once these things are unable to be achieved, the last option is always to impeach. Let me say, impeachment is not a solution to any leadership because impeaching somebody, you're only punishing the person. You are not solving the problem. I don't advocate for impeachment, and this I've said even many times, even to the speaker himself. There is always a way of finding a solution. But if that solution is not gotten, then you cannot deny members their right to exercise their powers. And the only way an elected MCA can exercise his power is through impeachment. Impeachment is a way of resisting. It's a rebellious way of showing the leadership that you are not happy with what is happening. And impeachments can always be stopped because it's a first step of doing the signatures. And the next step is giving a notice of the motion. In that stage, you can call the House into order, and you talk about those the challenges they are facing, and you agree on how you say this one I can manage, this one I can change, this one I cannot change. Then you agree on how you're going to run the county assembly. That is very simple. The simplest job I've seen is of being a speaker. You're only supposed to listen to members and give direction. Your work is not to take sides. Your work is not to to get involved in MCA's ruggles. Yours is to be the moderator, pass whatever they want to pass. If there is a division, they vote. Any side that wins, you say the A side has won, the B side has been defeated, and the House moves forward. So I think those are challenges that they can be solved, and we are trying to find a solution, and I'm sure and hopeful we are going to find a solution, and the House is going to be brought to order.
But Mheshimiwa, are we really, I think we are going to the fourth year. We are in the third year and there are still wrangles. There has been issues with the Wiper Party. I don't know, maybe majority of those in the assembly are very young people. I believe you are age-wise, you are ahead of them. Perhaps have you tried to bring other elderly people to talk to harmonize the situation? Because when we see wrangles in the county assembly, it is obvious what trickles down, especially to the ward level. Maybe have you tried reconciliations and negotiations?
Yes, yes. As I've said, we whenever there is an issue in any county assembly or national assembly, the best way has always been to be to bring the people together and do some reconciliation and agree on what can be achieved and what cannot be achieved. It's true, the House Assembly composition is of a bigger percentage is young leaders, and I can say that has always been one of the challenges because where an elderly man can see even with they say even
Well
without
seated.
sitting down, even if a young leader climbs Mount Everest, he will never see it.
Sure.
So there's a there's a truth in it, and as one of the elderly leaders, we have always tried to maintain it, and this has not stopped. Even now, we are talking, and that's why I've said it will not take long. It might have taken 3 years, but I'm sure very soon we are going to find a solution so that our county assembly can move forward with the mandate they were given by the people. Uh, let's say this assembly is a unique one because as you had asked me to compare the two speakers, the previous speaker was managing an assembly of at least elderly men. This one is leading an assembly of 50% are young leaders, 50, and another are the elderly, and he himself is also in the bracket of the youth. So you'll find the reasoning will be different, the leadership style will be different. There is also be lack of some maturity in some of the decisions, but those are some of the challenges because in an leadership situation, things are done according to the situation at that time. So we are trying to manage the situation, and we hope to find a solution in the coming few, if not so many months.